Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sales Chatter. Hope everybody had an amazing weekend. I'm your co host, Ryan Mohammed. With me is the Bodacious Cowboy, my man, my co host, Jeff Dickinson, the president CEO of RGTX Logistics Solutions. How you doing this morning, my friend?
Fantastic. What a weekend. Boy, especially yesterday, right? With the Super Bowl and all that. But man, I don't know. But it is Mayhem Monday. So with that said, let's get into this.
Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
Yeah, we had the music kind of going. We got the new thumbnail going. We're mellow Mondays, as you called it off here, Jeff.
Yep, absolutely. I can need one. I definitely need one of those compared to the weekend. I mean, not that it was chaotic by any means, but it's always nice to start off Monday on a mellow note.
Yeah, and before we get blindsided, right? But speaking of your busy weekend, what'd you get up to this weekend?
Oh, not much. Since Valentine's Day is tomorrow, we kind of celebrated it this past weekend instead of waiting until next weekend. So we just sat back, went out to dinner, went to the casino, just had some fun. It was nice, and then just had a relaxing day yesterday. How about yourself? What did you do?
Yeah, same thing. So one Saturday, we went over to my in-laws' house. We stayed there for a couple hours. I had some fun, and then yesterday we did our Sunday errands. Jeff, do you have a day that you guys run errand? Like, do you and your wife still do errands together, or is that something that not really?
No, it's more like it's like a potluck meal. You don't know what's going to be served or what's going to happen. It's just we just make it happen. Let's go here. Yeah, let's do this. Or whatever it might be. On the big stuff, if we're going on vacations, we do a plan. But on the weekends, it's pretty much ad hoc. Billy.
Ad hoc, yeah, you're a little freestyle. No, my wife and I, we know that we're gonna get in the car, and groceries are definitely a part of it. But wherever we land, we land. So we landed up at a dessert spot, and I was like, all right, I'm feeling this. So different things from there. So yesterday was the big game. Where did you stay up for the whole game, Jeff?
I sure did. I'm not that old. And I don't go to Denny's special at 5:00 in the afternoon either. So
You should be taking advantage of that. I wish I kind of hit those ages. But what were some of the highlights for you last night?
my man Trey Griggs and myself, we didn't have a bet, but we were the minority on who was going to win the Super Bowl. And yes, Chiefs win by 3. So I was pretty happy last night. It was good. It was a really good game. I had no idea when it was tied 35-35 what was going to happen, but it really came down to who had the ball last. And Chiefs shined, man. They came through, man. They changed. They weren't that great in the first half, but man, they switched it up when they came into the second half, and they knew what they needed to do. And look, I'm not knocking the Eagles, man. They're a tough team for sure, but they definitely stacked up well against each other for sure.
100%. And last night during the game, they actually had like a stats of like basically like their team record and the points they scored. They were actually identical. Like the same record, they scored the same amount of points, everything like that. So I always like seeing like the top seeds kind of battle it off because you see a reason why they battle it off. And I did like the storyline of Andy Reid playing against his former team that he was with, successful in Philadelphia. So it was a good game. I wish that holding penalty didn't kind of derail the game, but hey,
that's true. But
the guy,
just a little turn. It was a little turn to grab notice for sure. You know, I
100%. And
know.
even the player, he even admitted, he was like, "Look, he went out and he said it in press conference." So there's no debate at all, right? He
Right.
said, "Look, I did hold him," and being able to say that and be upfront with him. So it was a great game. I thought the halftime show sucked, but to each their own. I thought I love Rihanna, so it's not me being a hater on Rihanna or anything like
I'm
that.
not
But
a big fan of hers, but I'll tell you what, man, that was a very impressive show, especially when she was up like 5, 6, 7 stories.
yeah, as Jeff's internet's cutting out. For those who know, she actually announced that she's pregnant with her second child, right? So, yeah, as he's coming back here, it was I don't know. I expected more, Jeff, from especially from the previous Super Bowl halftime shows. Like they've been really good. I really enjoyed the J Lo Shakira one. I
Yeah,
enjoyed last year where they had everybody from LA. My favorite one will be the Weekend, and that's because he's from Toronto and he's a boy from Scarborough, which is not too far from me. And I thought he killed it. But I know a lot of people have mixed reactions on it, but hey,
it was
it was
okay.
good. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst as well. So,
Right.
it was pretty awesome to see there. But for me, what was the Super Bowl spread like at the Dickinson home?
Not much, man. I went out and got a pizza. That's all I did. Yeah, and surprisingly enough, I had one beer. I mean, I just was in a mellow mood. I just wanted to sit back, relax, and just watch the game. So we really didn't do much at all.
Yeah, I think it just depends for different people. Jeff, this was actually kind of ironic. So in our errands that we did yesterday, we went to the grocery, and after that, I was gonna hit up the beer store, grab some beers because we're a little bit low on it. But then I saw like a 6 pack of like what was it, Budweiser Zero, and I was like, let me try this out. So I cranked like four of those, and it felt great. I didn't wake up with a hangover. I didn't wake up with a headache. I think these are my new things. These new alcoholic beers they're pretty good. If anybody in the comments drinks non-alcoholic or doesn't drink any kind of recommendations, definitely send them to me because I'm enjoying not being hungover. So I thought I gotta share. That was actually pretty cool to see. I thought the Super Bowl, the commercials were awesome. It just
Yeah,
goes to show you, it's one of the biggest events of all year. I don't think it's the biggest one because I think the World Cup and in other parts of the world, those are bigger things. But the Super Bowl has that ability to, and I think we related to logistics a lot, Jeff. In the
yeah,
first half, the Chiefs, and they made it too. Like the Chiefs, they weren't that well. So in halftime, they had that extra 30-minute break, right? Because normally it's like 12 minutes between half
yeah,
times in
15,
normal
yeah.
things. Yeah, 15, 20 minutes. So they were able to like talk and like plan out and strategize and get and rally the troops. I know Mr. Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes, they definitely
Yeah.
would have rallied those troops and been like, hey, we've been here before. We know what we can do. So let's go on and do it. And one big adjustment I really like, Jeff, is that I saw that Jalen Hurts from the Philadelphia Eagles, he switched his cleats because they did all the painting on the fields and all that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the players did that. I mean, you saw the table with a bunch of cleats in there, but you know, and what was the first play in the second half after they did that? You saw them slip anyway, even though they changed their cleats. So it wasn't an improvement by any means. But one of the biggest things, the takeaway, um, and I guess it does relate to logistics too, is that when Andy Reid, what he said in the locker room, and I think it was Kelsey who said it, what are we supposed to do to be better? And what did he say? Just be yourselves. Just
Hmm.
be yourselves. You know yourself better than anything. I mean, what a great statement. It wasn't like we gotta go and do this, we gotta do this, all this, and be yourself. It's like in logistics. Don't fake it to make it, kind of deal. Just be who you are and be that value. Everybody on that team has brought their own specific value. That's why they're good at what they do. And so that's how I relate it to logistics. If you're really good at something, stay in your lane and be yourself. You
Yeah.
know,
And for me, what I related to is like, stick to the playbook. So many
absolutely.
times we figure out things are not working. Like, let's call a spade a spade. The Chiefs weren't going to try any brand new plays that they haven't tried before. They just stuck to the game plan, right? And Philadelphia, it was up to them, and it was just that like kind of back and forth battle. So I enjoyed the Super Bowl. Looking forward to what next year brings, and we hopefully we get a rematch. I thought they were awesome. At what point, Jeff? Because you're more of a football fan than I am. At what point does Patrick Mahomes get into that conversation with the greats, like the Joe Montanas, the
Oh, you know what,
Tom
Keith?
Brady's?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's number two as far as in the playoffs between him and Kelsey, as far as how many touchdowns they had in playoff history, um, which is pretty good. And considering the fact that he's 27 years old, been there four times, won two, so he's at a 50%, right? He's at
Yeah, 2
50%.
out of 4.
Because he's going down the right paths. Two Super Bowl wins, two MVPs, 4 years, right?
Yeah.
What's going to happen over the next 10 years? Can he catch Brady? I mean, that's the chatter out there. You know, does he have what it takes? We're going to find out. We
Yeah.
will. We're going to find out. I don't, like I said. The same team's going to be back next year, probably stronger. But they're not going to go away for a while, and neither is the Eagles. I mean, they're two big powerhouses for sure.
And what I like about it is that if anybody's like didn't pay attention to the Chiefs, like Tyreek Hill was one of their biggest wide receivers last year, and I think he's in Florida right now
Yep.
with the Dolphins. So everybody kind of like questioned that, right? And like Kelsey kind of talked about that. So it was awesome to kind of like see the dynamics of everybody, and you've got that. It's like going into a new company. You got that foundation of the guys. You got the Patrick Mahomes. You got the Travis Kelsey kind of directing and Andy Reid directing the ship. And
Yep.
then new guys kind of come in, they fall in place. Like look at that guy from the Giants who came by, and he had that return that almost went for a touchdown, right? So
Yeah.
it was like it was pretty crazy to see. So a lot of takeaways. Enjoy it. It's one of the last like sporting events before we get into the NHL and the NBA playoffs, which I'm so looking forward to. Jeff, we got something cool. We got something big. We've got something that's I personally think is going to be a game changer. Share with the audience what we got planned for season 2, my friend.
Yeah, it's big. It means a lot to me because I've been in the industry a long time. But it has to do with women empowerment. Uh, where we were at, where we are currently, where we need to be, and how are we going to get there? Um, there's so many things that are happening in the industry, and I have to say, from my past experience, we're moving in the right direction when it comes to women in logistics, women in higher ranking positions within the industry. But we need to do more. We definitely need to make the needle go more towards that way because it's still unsettling. It really is pay, progress. I mean, there's just so many things. So that's the big announcement that we're going to be doing over the next 4 or 5 weeks. And we have some good stuff coming up. That's all I can say. Really good stuff coming up. So stay tuned.
Yep. Yeah, and it was something that we discussed that we need to kind of shine a spotlight on more. So with just so everybody kind of specific, we're going to be starting for next week, where we're going to be bringing women in from different roles, shippers, brokers, carriers, all that fun stuff, and just kind of hear their side of the story and hear where they've kind of gone, what the journeys that they've faced. Because we thought it would be a disservice if Jeff and I alone came here and try to talk about women's struggles in logistics. We're not
No,
qualified. We're not SMEs at these things. So with that being said, we want to get the guidance from everybody. If there's certain topics that you want us to touch on with our guests and so on, let us know. Send us an email, drop some comments and things like that. But it's something that we definitely do need to shed a light on, and I believe it's perfect for season 2. And maybe who knows, we
absolutely.
can.
No comments are off limits. I can tell you that right now. We want, we'd love to have more women watch the show and ask those questions that they always wanted to. That's what we really want to do. We want to try to answer a lot of questions because they need to be answered. I still feel, close to 40 years that there's still a lot of questions out there that have not been answered. And I'd love to know why and what we can do as a logistics industry to make it more welcoming to women in logistics. Seriously, when you really think about it.
Yeah, and that's why we wanted to make that focus, shed that spotlight on them because, like we said, I have questions as well. I know we all have questions regarding it. So, yeah, so everybody tune in. So basically, what the schedule is going to be like, we're gonna go Monday, Tuesday with guests. Wednesday is still going to be with Dean. Thursday we're gonna have guests, and then Friday we have our Fun Day Fridays, right? And different topics, and it's gonna be awesome. And just want to say good morning to Matt. Great carrier. If you're looking for a great carrier out of Winnipeg, definitely reach out to him with assets and things like that. He's a great guy. And good morning to Kara. Good morning, DJ. Thanks for the support always, brother. It's been really, really cool. So just so everybody can expect, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be brand new, and it's gonna be something impactful. And that's what our mission is. Like we always kind of say, hey, we want to help 10,000 reps hit a million GP. That's for HPLS sales chatter, and then as well, just to be educational, right? Not to see the same thing all the time, and kind of go from there. So we're truly impressed with everything that's kind of coming together, and we're gonna have some fun, Jeff. We truly
No,
are.
I can't wait. Seriously. I definitely have a few questions, probably a lot more than others because I've been doing this for a long time, but it's gonna be very interesting. And I think it will be an eye opener coming from the people that we're gonna have on board each week. So, or guests, I should say. So, I'm definitely looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So that is going to be our plan for season two. We want everybody to kind of tune in next week. Well, tune in every day, right? Have some fun with us. We definitely try to give some value as much as we can for anything that we're kind of going through in logistics, even in life and personal things from going there. Jeff, tomorrow is the big day. I know you guys did your stuff on the weekend, went to the casino, had all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But let's have some fun with. Let's seep in a little bit of Fun Day Fridays into Mellow Mondays a little bit, as we're kind of have some cool stuff here. What was do you remember like your first Valentine's with your wife?
Oh yeah, sure. It was funny because 43 years ago, I met my wife today on Friday the 13th. It was, believe it or not. And then there was Valentine's Day the next day. So it's just like, oh my God, man, I just met this girl. What am I going to do for Valentine's Day? And then 5 years later, after we met, we got married on February 15th. So there's that chain, for the next 3 days, we remembered a lot of things that we went through. I mean, marriage isn't easy. And when you're in logistics, you can prove whether or not your marriage is hardcore or not, because a lot of people in this industry don't make it because of the pressures in it. So, it's rewarding. So the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th, is a big time for us.
That's awesome, man. I'm
How
so
about
so
you?
happy
What are
for
you
you guys.
doing? I mean, seriously, what are you doing? I mean,
Yeah, I got some plans for tomorrow, but I won't say it on air because I know my wife watches the show, so I like to be a little bit of a surprise. But for us, it's awesome, man. Like, my wife and I, we've been together, what, 5 years now? Actually, on the 17th is when we first started dating. And, every year it's like, it's kind of crazy. You look at these dates as Valentine's Day and stuff like that. It's like nothing crazy happens on these special days because it's like every day, little things. And yeah, we got some pretty cool things kind of planned for tomorrow and just kind of like our future. What we like to do too, Jeff, is like we do our date nights and we like to reflect on like where do we want to go, and like you said, like being in logistics wasn't easy. Like it was an adjustment for her. And myself too, understanding like what logistics really was when we first started dating. But like now it's like, yeah, Ryan does logistics, and like like let him go do his thing because she knows I'm at work and things like that. And she's actually lined up for like some prospects for me too, just with her scope of work. So she's been a great word of mouth and great partner. And I think that's what that collaboration, we always talk about that collaboration, man, that congruency, it starts there and then it kind of breaks out from there. So truly looking forward to not just tomorrow, but basically the rest of our lives.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when we got married, 1 week after we got married, when I got back from Mexico, my wife was a director at Lord and Taylor stores, and she did all the point of sales and opened up new stores and all that. And she was down near the Superdome in New Orleans, and her boss was very, very apologetic because he needed to have her down there for a month she was down there for a month doing all her stuff. So her boss sends a private plane up for me to fly me down there because he was so appreciative that we just got married and he thought it was really, really bad that he had to pull my wife down there to work. So he said, come on Lord and Taylor, we'll have you down there, put you up at the Hyatt Regency and have 4 days with your wife down. It was fantastic, you know? So, I mean, there's some good stuff. I mean, she was on, like, I would say, logistics of the sales side of doing the point of sales and the point of purchase and setting up the women's gowns and all the displays and stuff like that. So we had something in common for a little bit on that side. But yeah, so I mean, the industry does serve us well, I should say.
It does, and it's allowed us, and anybody comes can agree. Like it's allowed me at least that like I always had this before, but it makes conversations with like brand new people or even people existing people even better. It, like just being able to like talk about what we do and just understanding like what they do and like I don't know, it's opened up me to like understand people, get guide my intuition, and then be more curious. The curious questions that I ask my customers and my prospects and stuff like that, I'm able to like ask those things because I actually used one of DJ's things on him on Saturday when I was at my family's house.
Oh,
Um,
what was that?
yeah, so I on when he was on Friday, he mentioned that a lot of people they'll talk about different things, but they don't talk about, hey, do you love it? When is this last time somebody's asked you, hey, I do logistics. Do you love logistics? And kind of get their answer. I said that to like my wife's cousin who's a nurse, and she was like stumped. She's like, yeah, like no one's ever really asked me this question before, so it's really cool to kind of see. Nerf, good morning, brother. Always happy to see you.
Fine.
Hopefully, I didn't get up to too much Taco Bell on the weekend. But yeah, it's been able to have those conversations with different people of all walks of life, and kind of engage better because you just never know who you're going to be talking to, who's going to open up a door, who's going to close a door. It could happen that way as well, but it's just hey, you don't get anything if you don't network.
Yep, you don't get if you don't ask.
Yeah.
So you always have to ask, and you never know. Uh, what company going to be surrounding you. A long time ago, I used to say all the time, you are what you are in the stimulus that surrounds you. So if you're always hanging out with logistics guys compared to baseball players, you know you're going to be leaning towards logistics more than playing baseball, and then vice
Yeah.
versa. And I believe in that strongly. So yeah, I mean that's such a great question. You know what my answer to that is, right?
Yeah.
Um, do you love what you do? I mean that's a great question. Did you ever sit back like after a really hard work week where you had just felt destroyed, and you're like, I think you said it or somebody else. It's like, how do you know how much you love a job is how you feel on Sunday evening before you have to go into work on a Monday morning.
Yep.
What does your gut? Do you feel like, oh man, this is gonna suck, man? I don't want to go in there. Well, guess what? You're on the wrong path. Don't go
Yep.
down that road anymore. Time to pick up everything and move on. If you have that feeling. Did I ever have that? Shit, yeah, I definitely had that feeling. But I wanted to go through those boundaries. I wanted to go through those obstacles, because I don't know. I saw that light at that end of the tunnel. A lot of people out there also have seen that light, and the ones who have gone down that path and stayed in it for a while can tell you the same thing. That you're so happy that you chose the right path to do it. It was something that was either in your DNA that you just acclimated to. It's
Hmm.
it's those things, but those are the telling things that happened the night before. So
The night before. It's always the night before. And when you said the night before, I remembered like when I was in like grade school, I always hated Sundays because there's two reasons why. I got to go to school on Monday, but then I don't know if you remember this, but like there was never anything really to watch after 8 o'clock on TV, like and we didn't have Netflix and all that stuff. So we're like the blockbuster kind of days. Like you can't just go pick a movie or a TV show on demand. So I always had that like I didn't hate school, but I just didn't want to do it. But when it comes to logistics, I'm like, okay, like I'm excited. Like I work throughout the clock. Like I'll come down to my office on a Sunday, on a Saturday, get some things done. Like even did some YouTube scripting and things like that regarding like logistics yesterday. I'm in my office, but
It's
you
like
know, oh, see, there we go. You know, we're enjoying what we're doing,
every
right?
day. I mean, every day. It's not, you know, I don't regret doing. I mean, you know, every Saturday I do my payroll and auditing and all that kind of stuff, and then Sunday I'm always dabbling in here first thing in the morning. You know, it's around the clock. I mean, yeah, it's around the clock, but I don't force myself. I can't wait to
Hmm.
get to the seat in the morning. You know, it's like I don't know. It's I guess it's like going for a walk for me. So
Yeah, it is. And one thing that you said what was is truly important. Like it's your mental when you're thinking about the mindset. I've learned this from Damon, and it's so true in terms of that the universe itself, regardless of whatever you call it, divine intervention or spiritual, whatever it is, it wants to reward you. And it wants to match and like whatever feelings you give to it. So if you go in with like a positive attitude, or you're like, okay, I can't wait for Monday, universe is like, yo, this guy's working so hard. Let's bless him a bit. Let's give
yeah,
him let's have that customer that he reached out to like 5 years ago. Just reach out to him now and start that conversation again or something different, right? And if you go with that negative attitude, you are that, right? They always say you are what you eat, right? As a
oh
diss we
yeah.
used to say back in high school and things like that. But you want to be that person who's like always. That's why I'm always smiling all the time, because life is amazing. I'm not gonna be in a exactly, right? You got a full set of hair, right? It's crazy to see, but for me, it's like
How
always
many
having
guys
that
don't? I
positive.
mean, seriously, how many guys look at your surroundings, look at guys at my age and see how much hair they have and stuff like that, man. You know, it's just I'm sorry, but it's just the way that you look at it and work your day. You get out of it what you put into it. If you want to put in fear, if you want to put in negativity, that's going to drive the way that you work. You know,
Yeah.
if you're positive, if you're confident, if you enjoy what you do, every day is not work, man. It's not. It's like I don't know, going for a hike for me. I mean, it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. So
Well, I think you're putting a negative connotation on work, because like work is a work is still the word, right? So it's not always negative connotation from there. But I
right.
still got to work. It's a lifestyle change and things like that. And shout out to Matt, who's killing it right now. Is like him and his girlfriend went to Florida, and it's because of logistics. Is able to
Yeah,
kind of go and travel and go to new
he
places.
went
And
to
Anthony,
Disney.
yeah,
Man
he's
went to
he's kill- he's got those bunny ears. I mean those Mickey Mouse ears, right? So
yeah, there you go.
Anthony, great to see you here as well this morning, and Anthony as well. Like I've had great conversations with him, and he's going through the process. He's not going to be like, hey. And I do want to mention, because he did mention this as a comment on the show on
Yeah,
Friday. I didn't get to it because we closed, but I think it was on Friday that him and his fiance can finally get married. So congratulations, brother! Like
nice.
that's a milestone. That's such a great, cool thing. Wedding planning wasn't the best. It wasn't fun for me. But you'll go through. You'll understand why. You need to get what is it, centerpieces, and making sure the menus and all that fun stuff. But
I had
just
nothing to do. I had nothing to do with that. I mean, I had my wedding reception at the Officers Club at West Point. You know, because I married the general's daughter. So, you know, talk about getting things set up and having dignitaries from the U.S. government and all that kind of stuff. Talk about pressure. That's pressure. You know, when
yeah,
you're
like
a
don't
kid,
trip,
you're
don't
26
trip.
years old, man. You better be on your best behavior. So,
Yeah. This,
oh yeah,
this,
and also I got to say hi to Lisa. I mean, Lisa hasn't been here for a while. We have to have a conversation about her trip to Rwanda. That had to be awesome. She was there for a long time. So, welcome back, Lisa, and thanks for joining us. Appreciate that.
It's awesome. So, in recap, everybody, next week is going to be awesome. We're going with our season 2 of Sales Chatter, which is going to be focused on women in logistics. Tune in, fresh. We're going fresh on Monday. With that being said, we're bringing you guys new content, new guests, new everything. Just want to kind of keep it kind of going. And good morning to Brendan. So, if you found value in this video and in all of our episodes, please go check out the previous episodes. We've had some bangers. We've had people like Scott on here. We've had people like Nerf on here. We've had a lot of great guests, and we've had great conversations with Jeff and I. If you want to catch us again, catch us on the replay at 12 and 3 p.m. Eastern Time, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's going to be a fun time. This week, we were going to hit a replay tomorrow, and then Wednesday, we got Data Day with our main man, Dean Croak from DAT Analytics. Sorry, as I'm kind of flustered there. But with that being said, Jeff, take us out, brother.
Yeah, great weekend, fun day today. Like you said, we're going to be working on a lot of things this week. That's why we're going to show past shows. Looking forward to Wednesday and then fun day on Friday. But follow us for more updates on women empowerment. Can't wait to get into this. I know Ryan's there too. So he's with me. So with that said, the bodacious cowboy is out. Enjoy your day.